Good morning, welcome to our Talks to Anthony. Today we're going to have a insightful conversation. For those who are new to the channel, we make mental health conversations and content that's going to be beneficial to your personal development in addition to well-being. However, in today's conversation, we're going to be talking about chronic illness and mental health, navigating emotional well-being with long-term health challenges regarding that condition, right? So I want to be able to address how chronic illness impacts mental health and to be able to offer compassionate, evidence-based strategies to be able to maintain emotional well-being while managing long-term physical challenges. I want us to be able to have that resilience. I want us to be able to have the strategies. I want us to be able to have that support, right? Stick with me, grow with me. We're gonna be able to navigate throughout this video, right? So people that are living with the chronic illness, I want us to be able to take in consideration that this is, a physical journey, and it's not just a physical journey, but it's also to an emotional one as well. We got to be able to take into consideration of that mental health, right? Things could be looking good outside or not even looking good outside, but at the end of the day, we have to take into consideration the inside, right? In addition to that mind, right? So the daily pain, the fatigue, right? The uncertainty in regards to the heavy weight of the mental health challenge itself, right? Even taking consideration that we're leaving people feeling isolated, people feeling frustrated, or even unseen. So I want to be able to take in consideration that there is hope, right? We got to be able to, like I said, be compassionate and be able to take in consideration that an understanding of our body in addition to our minds, how they can connect, be able to empower us, and they're both provide us to be able to find that balance in addition to strength, peace, in addition to the midst of the illness itself. So I really want us to, like I said, be able to have an understanding of how we're able to connect our body to mind, to be able to empower us in regards to our mental health, right? So our first segment, let's talk about the mind-body connection, how chronic illness affects mental health. Like I said, there's people out here focus on the exterior so much, which is fine. Get your body right, do what you got to do, but you also got to take in consideration on the mental health, right? Your mind, our body, internally, how your emotions are, your feelings, your behaviors, and how these things are in alignment, right? So I really want to take consideration, like I said, how the mental chronic illness affects us and regarding navigating through our mental health. So first key point, we're going to be talking about that emotional toll, right? So we got to take into consideration the chronic pain, the fatigue, and the medical uncertainty can lead to anxiety, depression, and even griefs of one's old self, right? So taking consideration for those out there that, let's say they had a job, they was doing what they had to do, and then suddenly something transpired, right? They got a diagnosis, so they have a mental health, illness, and now things have changed and they have to figure out and accommodate their life to be able to get to where they want to be, right? So things change, right? And like I said, it has an emotional toll as well. Next is biological links, right? So chronic inflammation or hormonal imbalances can impact the mood and that cognition, right? So the way that we're thinking, the way that we feel, the way that our even mood, how we even are able to even do certain things or even tasks, these things are linked biological as well. Next is going to be the identity shift. Like I said, the illness can change how you see yourself, leading to the loss of confidence or even that independence, right? So some people need more support. Some people need more guidance. For those out there too, I want to take in consideration because, like I said, this can be able to change the way you look at yourself, but you got to be able to have compassion and really allow yourself to know that you're still whole, you're still a person, you're still trying to improve, you're still doing the best that you can. So you got to boost yourself up rather than self-sabotage. So I really want you guys to take in consideration that positive mindset. Next is going to be isolation and stigma, right? So social withdrawal or misunderstanding of others can intensify that emotional distress. I want us to take in consideration that we got to be able to get ourselves out there. We got to be able to advocate. We got to be able to get ourselves connected to even support groups, so we're able to have peers and different people to be able to talk about their experience, their journey, how they're maintaining it, what strategies they have, and we're able to come as one to be able to help support each other. Right, so I really want to take in consideration in regards to, like I said, the social withdrawal and that misunderstanding, and to be able to relieve ourselves from that distress, right? Let's move on to our next segment in regards to common emotional experiences, naming what we feel, right? We got to be able to take in consideration of, exploring what's really going on, what emotions behind it, right? And really just putting a name on it. So first key concept, we're going to be talking about the grief and loss, right? So mourning the life or abilities you once had. Like I said, for those out there that, like I said, they're comparing themselves to the previous past and they lost some of these abilities, that this is a part of the common experience over regards to that emotional experience. Next is going to be the fear and uncertainty. So worrying about flare-ups, the future, even dependency on other people, right? Like I said, that support, frustration and anger. So feeling trapped by limitations or misunderstood by loved ones, right? Do they even understand what's really going on? Do they understand what it's like to be in my position? Do they understand, like, I'm really going through something, like I used to be in a position where I was independent and I didn't need nobody, but now I need people, right? So it's a difference. It's a difference, right? So this affects the way that you feel. Next is going to be that loneliness in regards to social isolation can limit our energy, that mobility. Like I said, we want to be able to avoid that by getting that peer support, getting ourselves interactive with people, so we're able to, feel conducive, feel whole, still feel as if that we're working on our personal development, getting ourselves what we need, right? And not focusing on too much of the exterior of what other people think about us, right? We got to make sure we're taking care of ourselves and our mental health. Next is going to be that guilt. So feeling a burden, not doing enough, right? So everybody's different. And like I said, mental health definitely does affect us. But like I said, we got to stop measuring ourselves up to other people and self-sabotaging and really utilizing that positive mindset, telling ourselves that we're doing the best that we can. And, the turtle wins too. You feel me? So it's not about the faster you get there, it's about just, at least you tried, you got there, right? So worry about yourself, stay in your own lane, do the best that you can do, and try your best not to, like I said, self-sabotage and give yourself that guilt. Next segment, we're going to be talking about the strategies for emotional resilience and, that mental health in regards to that wellness. We got to be able to take consideration off RIP is that therapeutic support. Counselors, they do this. They have the education, they have the courses, the experiences to be able to really help provide you the support that you need, right? And if not, the resources, right? So we got to take in consideration that support groups can reduce the isolation and offer coping tools as well. Like I said, when it comes to that group support, right? So there's other peers that have the similar diagnosis that you may have, and coming together to be able to talk about these things to really be able to benefit you down the line. Next is going to be mindfulness and stress management. We got to be taking consideration box breathing, which is one of my favorite things to do, is going to be able to help you regulate yourself, make emotional regulation. Just because when things come your way and you down and out, whatever, you're going to be able to have the skills to be able to keep yourself conducive, keep yourself balanced out, so no one's able to play with you, etc. Right? So breathing exercises, we got the meditation as well, and even just like I said, taking a walk outside, doing those things to relieve yourself. Movement is able to, like I said, calm that nervous system as well. So try your best to do things that give you peace. Try your best to do things that are going to be able to kind of keep you mellow, keep you, observant, type of just really getting into your thoughts, right? And just reducing that overall stress. Next is going to be creative expression, right? So people that enjoy art or, writing, like for instance, off RIP, this is something I'll always be pushing out there, is the work. You got to put the work in, right? So journaling, right? So really just getting into your mental health, getting into your emotions, getting into what's going on in regards to your behaviors, how you feel, right? And really proactively put that to work. Music is also an outlet too. So you want to be able to process those emotions. Next is going to be energy management. So you want to be able to pace activities and prioritize rest to be able to prevent that burnout, right? So do what you got to do to give yourself what you need. Keep body balance, but you also want to be able to provide that rest so you're able to kind of get that recover and let your body and your brain do what it got to do so it restores itself, right? Next is going to be small wins. I really want to emphasize, I always do this, is like celebrate your process. It shouldn't take you to get to the end goal to be able to be like, I made it, like you was doing it every single day. You had the discipline, you know what I mean? There was days where it was rainy and your mind was trying to pull you down, but you were able to navigate through with that resilience, with that love, with that compassion, right? So really celebrate the small things, no matter how small, it's able to build that hope and even that motivation. Next is going to be that medication and that medical care. So seeking help for depression, anxiety is part of the holistic healing. So talk to your doctor, talk to your therapist, talk to people that's going to be more proactive for you to get you to the results that you want to be, and that's a positive, better well-being. So seek the help. You know what I mean? You got to talk to somebody, you got to advocate. A pro tip I really want to be able to encourage as well is that your body may have limits, but your ability to take care of your mind is limitless, right? So you can't put a dollar amount on that. You got to be able to take care of your body. My pops even told me too, you know what I mean? When you're down and out and you're in the hospital, you know what I mean? Like, this is real. You know what I mean? You can't, no matter how much money that you have in your account or how broke you are, like, this is the situation, right? You got to be able to take care of yourself. You got to be able to take care of yourself. It has to be priority, and you are a priority. Next segment, we're going to be talking about building support in that connection. I really want us to be able to have a mindset of like not really isolating ourselves, not feeling as if that we're down now, we're the only one going through this, we're unseen, You know what I mean? I really want us to embrace that. You know what I mean? We are loved when we get ourselves connected with other people, when we get ourselves around other people that have similar, traits or it's going through the same diagnosis. It can really be beneficial for us to be, navigating through this. We don't got to be alone. So first key point off RIP I want to be able to talk to you guys about is communicate openly, right? So when you're kind of vulnerable, when you're open and you're just being transparent, you're being authentic, you're really being truthful, right? Sharing your needs with loved ones or, anybody else out there that's, like I said, going through similar things can really be able to provide that support. even if they don't even understand too. So just communicating, you know what I mean? Just giving people understanding openly can really be able to help people out there as well, right? So you want to be able to find a community, right? So we have online, we have in-person groups to be able to reduce the feelings of the isolation, right? To provide that support. Next is going to be set boundaries, right? So protect your peace, protect your energy by saying no when it's needed, right? You don't got to always get into the nitty gritty in regards to what your mental health, status is. That's why we have HIPAA. That's why we have like mind your business. That's why we have the curtain. That's why we have the wall, right? So do what you got to do for yourself, right? But I really want you to take in consideration to set boundaries as necessary, right? Next is going to be educate others, right? So helping people understand your condition fosters that empathy and that patience, right? So some people out there are just fast paced, they're just doing what they got to do out there, survival mentality, right? But sometimes it's good for you to be able to have that mindfulness, if you can, to be able to educate others, to be able to help them get some insights so they're able to have, like I said, that empathy and that compassion and patience for other people as well. Next is professional support. We got to take in consideration people out here are going to school, they study, they take the courses semester after semester till the graduation to be able to provide this into the world for us. So we got to be able to take in consideration of that professional support. Seek people that really know what they're talking about, right? So we have psychologists, occupational therapists, chronic illness coaches, right? Even chronic illness, like mental health, like this is what we do, right? So we got to take in consideration that there is practical and emotional guidance as you're trying to, navigate through this. You are not alone. The support is there and the professional support is there as well, right? So the last segment we're going to dive right into is really the kind of redefining the strength, right? So living fully with chronic illness, right? So people out there that have it, I want you to take in consideration that you are loved, you are whole, you are enough, right? This is really what we do. And I'm not just saying this to say it, I'm saying it with purpose behind it, right? So I really want us to take in consideration that acceptance over resistance is going to be really big, because you really want to take in consideration is that accepting your reality doesn't mean giving up. It means reclaiming your peace, right? So you got to be able to consideration that, yes, you have this diagnosis, yes, you're dealing with this mental health illness, but you still are here, you still are whole, you still are enough, and you're able to accept that and really move on ways to be able to improve and make things conducive, beneficial, a balance for yourself. Next is going to be redefining success, right? So measuring your life by meaning, not productivity, right? So you got to take in consideration that your life is your life. You don't want to measure yourself up to other people and other people's success, because everybody's on their own timeline. We don't know what they got going on. We don't know their, their situation. All thing we know is what's in front of you, right? So you making those decisions, getting yourself around the support, you redefining what success means to you, you doing what's best for you on your timeline. And like I said too, the turtle wins the race too. So like I said, when we focus on ourselves, we're able to do what we have to do, and we improve, right? So I really want us to take that in consideration, is that pull the energy back into yourself in that aspect. Moving forward is find purpose in adaptation, right? So many discover empathy, creativity, and advocacy through, their experiences. So we got to be able to take in consideration that is that find your purpose, do what's best for you, and you'll be able to adapt as you find that peace, you find that love, you find that, that inner discovery. But when we do that, when we spend time on ourselves, we don't focus on other people, as I mentioned again, you heard? Next is going to be that gratitude practice, right? So noticing the small wins, the joyful moments, right? And that can be able to shift our focus and look at life with a more optimistic, open mindset, can be able to shift our focus from the loss to life, right? Gratitude is really something that I do, like I said, with the journaling as well. Finding times of solitude, just get away from people, get away from the noise, get away from all the distractions, you heard? And really be able to find times of moments of thinking about what am I grateful for? You know what I mean? And I really want you guys to be able to take that in consideration for your lives, because you guys are here for a purpose. You know what I mean? Mental health is real, or illness is real, but we're still here. We're able to navigate through this with a positive mindset. You feel me? Next is going to be hope in every day, right? So healing isn't about curing, it's about living within your limits, right? So everybody's different. You got to know what's best for you. You got to know what your limits are. You got to know what your boundaries are. No means no, you feel me? And you got to stand on business, right? So do what's best for you, right? I really want you to advocate for yourself. In consideration to a mindset shift, I want to be able to let us know is that you can live a meaningful, joyful life even with pain, right? So strength looks different on everybody, right? But it's about our mindsets, about what we do. It's about how we, how we channel that energy. You know what I mean? And I really want us to channel that energy into something productivity, right? At the end of the day, you are divine, you are loved, you are still here, you are enough, right? And at the end of the day, we're still able to improve regardless if we have a diagnosis or not. But those that are managing with it, those that are navigating with it, like I said throughout this video, we talked about a lot of things, and hopefully it was beneficial to you. Just wrapping this video up together, I really want us to have wholehearted sense of healing, right? So chronic illness is something that changes our body, but it's something that doesn't define us, and it doesn't define and kind of tap into our soul, right? We still are whole, we still are here, even though we're may feel as if that we're grieving or we're resting or we're frustrated or we feel our own ways the way we feel about it, right? There is still support out there. There's still a way to navigate through this with a positive mindset, as I encourage, right? And healing isn't just the physical, it's the emotional, spiritual, and the deeply aspects in regards to us as you as an individual. So I really want us to emphasize that your journey is a journey. Focus on yourself, do what's beneficial for you to improve, and things will be beneficial. Things will get better within time. Please stick with me, grow with me with Thriving Talks. If you found this video beneficial, give a thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next one. Take it easy.